Um, what the heck did I just watch? You'd think after so many years the strangeness that is anime wouldn't surprise me anymore. But one thing I have learned over all these years is never underestimate just how strange anime can get.
It takes a special kind of mind to understand the weirdness that is anime.
Why, thank you, Emma.
That wasn't a compliment.
So, the series starts out with a girl running through what looks like limbo, and after running for a while she sees another girl who's flying about and fighting something. It's not actually clear as to what the other girl is fighting. At some point a building slams into this other girl and she's perfectly fine, and then flames seem to appear out of nowhere, and it's all really confusing what's happening with this other girl. The point is, she's getting her behind handed to her. The girl we just saw running is worried about what's happening to this other girl, and then this weird Pokemon-like thing appears and says that she can save this other girl, and indeed the whole world, if she just forms a contract with her. So, wait a minute. Are these kids in the Reapers game from The World Ends With You? And yes, as of this year, 2013, I've officially played this game, but that's not the point here. Anyway, this weird Pokemon thing says if this girl forms a contract with her, she can become a magical girl. This series is going to get really, really moe and disgusting, isn't it? Well, in any case, all of this hoopla...
Please tell me you didn't just say hoopla.
...comes to an end when this girl suddenly wakes up, revealing that all we just saw was a dream. Huh. She goes downstairs where her father tells her to go and help her baby brother wake up their mother. Her mother only looks about 16. Seriously, how old is her mother meant to be? She looks way too young to have a teenage daughter. Did her real mother die and her father married his jailbait lover or something? I refuse to believe that this woman is actually her biological mother. She would have had to have given birth when she was like 2. I know the artwork of this series is meant to be the super deformed moe style, but at least in other series where they've done it, like say Lucky Star, the adults at least looked like adults. Heck, in this series her father at the very least looks like an adult. Her mother looks like she's still only a freaking teenager herself.
He's never gonna let this go now.
So, after waking her mother up, she has breakfast with her family and then heads off to school. On her way to school, she meets up with her 2 friends, and the 3 of them start talking about love and boyfriends and things like that. Ugh, women.
I will murder you one of these days.
In any case, they finally get to school and their homeroom teacher, who, by the way, is the most generic-looking homeroom teacher ever. Seriously, is there like a factory where they produce these people? Anyway, their homeroom teacher is rambling on and on and on about how she got dumped by her boyfriend because he doesn't like the way she cooks eggs. Huh. You know, I know this is meant to be funny, but for some reason I'm not laughing. Anyway, she tells them that a new student is going to be joining their class, and the new student enters, and the main girl is shocked to see that, surprise surprise, it's the girl from her dream. Imagine that! In true cliché style, this transfer student is all quiet and mysterious, having knowledge that she shouldn't have. She then suddenly asks the main girl if she'll accompany her to the nurse's office, and on the way there the main girl tries to make small talk with her, but she's not having any of it. And then she turns to the main girl and says, "Are your family, friends and life very important to you?"
Yeah, of course they are.
Good. Then don't ever change. If you want to keep them, then make sure you don't ever change. Huh. Not that that's not good advice, but why are you giving it to somebody you barely even know? But somebody gave you very similar advice a long time ago, don't you remember, Kay? Well, yes, but that was somebody I knew really well, not somebody I'd just met.
What are you talking about?
Doesn't matter. Anyway, this mysterious girl then walks off. Later in the day, the main girl is describing what happened to her 2 friends. They all start to ponder what it could have meant, and then the main girl mentions the dream she had, but they dismiss it as her just being silly. Her generic, polite, smart, rich girlfriend brings up the possibility that maybe the two of them knew each other a long time ago, before having to leave for generic, polite, smart, rich girl reasons. The main girl and her generic, short-haired attitude friend then go to a music store, when suddenly the main girl hears a voice inside her head calling her name. Instead of telling her friend about it, she instead decides to wander off on her own into a dark area inside this shopping mall that she's never been to before. Suddenly, that same weird Pokemon thing from before drops down from the ceiling, looking really injured. It begs her to help it, but then suddenly the generic, mysterious transfer student shows up and demands she hands the weird Pokemon thing over to her. Thankfully, she's saved by her generic, short-haired attitude friend, who uses a fire extinguisher in order to distract the generic, quiet, mysterious transfer student, and the two of them make their escape. All of a sudden, the generic, quiet, mysterious transfer student starts having what can only be described as an acid fantasy. What was in that fire extinguisher? Anyway, the two girls are about to make their escape when all of a sudden they start having this acid fantasy as well. No, seriously, what was in that fire extinguisher? They're suddenly attacked by giant dust balls with moustaches. No, seriously, that's what attacks them. And then all of a sudden a mysterious force suddenly wipes out the killer dust balls. They turn around and see that this mysterious force came from none other than... Ah! It's Catherine! Run, girls, run! Get as far away from her as you possibly can! She's evil! Evil! Before introductions can be made, Catherine says she has to finish the job, and then pulls off a Sailor Moon-esque transformation before leaping into the air and creating thousands of guns, which then proceed to shoot the remaining killer dust balls with moustaches. No, seriously, this just happened. Anyway, the generic, quiet, mysterious transfer student then catches up with them, but Catherine tells her that one of them got away and she needs to go after it. After she leaves, Catherine heals up the weird Pokemon thing, which then gets to its feet and starts talking to the two girls, and mysteriously it knows both their names. It then tells them once again to form a contract with it so that the two of them can become magical girls. In other words, it wants to take them on more acid fantasies. All joking aside, this is actually a pretty decent start to the series. There's an air of mystery about that makes you want to watch on to find out just what the heck's going on. Yeah, there's some really, really weird stuff in there, but hey, I've seen weirder things in anime. I've watched Excel Saga. Yeah, the characters are coming off a bit generic at the moment, but we'll give it time and see how they develop over the course of the series. All in all, I'm very interested to see where this series is going.
I want to know where I can get one of those fire extinguishers which makes everything go all trippy.
There's something very wrong with you.
Seriously. Hey everybody, thanks very much for watching. Oh, and if you're wondering what the deal with this is, I just cut myself while shaving, that's all. Just before we get to the outtakes, I want to remind everybody to please go and subscribe to the new Let's Play channel my friend and I have started called Chi and Ren Play. There'll be a link to it in the description below. The two of us are literally just playing some games and just in general chilling out and having a good time on the channel. Our current big playthrough is Final Fantasy 13, but we will be doing other games on the side. We're going to be uploading new videos from our long hauls, such as Final Fantasy 13, every Monday, and as for any other games we do on the side, we'll just upload whenever. Currently, we are recording all the video games footage with my video camera, but if enough people become interested in the show, we will invest in getting some proper recording equipment for the video games footage. We just have to know that people want this show, first of all. This new show is a lot of fun to do and we have had a great time doing it, and we really, really do want it to be successful. So please go on by to this new channel and check it out, and just have a good time. Anyway, thank you for listening. Enjoy the outtakes. The girl we just saw The girl we just saw running does something. Anyway, this weird Pokemon thing says if this girl forms a contract with her generic polite rich girlfriend, thankfully she's shaved by her she comes on and she shaves her. All of a sudden, the generic, quiet, mysterious transfer student suddenly starts. Run, girls, run! All in all, if I'm completely honest, I'm actually very curious to see what's going to go. My titty is on the prowl. Hey, say hello, Lily.